Hey guys, local high school history teacher here. Yesterday we watched on TV the fall of Afghanistan and evacuation in Kabul and all that kind of stuff. The president made his speech yesterday afternoon, and on the way home from school, we watched it in my fifth period class live, and on my way home from school, my phone is just lit up with questions from people that I know. So one guy asked me to make a video that he could get a lot of names, numbers, dates, facts, and stuff like that to look up and better inform himself and his decision on how he's going to respond. So here you go, man. This is for you and all of those other people who just like to stay informed in times like this. Now, most people don't realize it, but Joe Biden was elected to office in November of 1972. I was 4 days old when he was elected. That's right. Look at that bald spot. Been around for a while. In his speech yesterday, he said something about having worked with the military for the last 20 years or something like that. It seemed like I heard the word 20. Not my speech. So what I thought I'd do is give you a history of military interventions that are famous that America got involved in that happened while he was either a U.S. Senator or Vice President of the United States. All right, you ready? It's going to be rapid fire. Here we go. He takes office, actually moves in January of 1973. That same month, the Selective Service announced that they are no longer drafting soldiers for Vietnam. From that point on, we will be a volunteer army. That same month, Richard Nixon signs the Paris Peace Accords. Keep in mind that treaties made with other nations are not official, are not binding until the Senate signs off on them. Joe Biden would have been involved in that process somehow. Second month in office, it's February. Vietnam returns 591 POWs to America as a good faith gesture, including the famous John McCain exchange. He's going to run for president one day. March, the next month, March 29th, 1973, the last U.S. combat units will leave Vietnam. The next year, 1974, Richard Nixon will resign. Boy, how much did he get involved in that one? Not necessarily him playing a role in it, but it greatly affected everyone in the U.S. Senate. 1975, the fall of Saigon, the famous helicopters on the roof. Joe Biden would have been in the Senate. He would have been helping with the cleanup on that stuff. 1982 to 1984, the U.S. military is in Beirut. We have some barracks that blow up. All you older people remember the Beirut stuff. 1983, we're going to invade Grenada. A lot of Americans are held hostage down there at a university. I believe it was by Cubans. Yeah. And so we invaded that little island. 1989, we invade Panama and we arrest their leader, Manuel Noriega, and he will spend the rest of his days in a prison in the U.S. All right, 1990-91, the initial Persian Gulf War versus Saddam Hussein, driving him out of Kuwait. 1994, we invade Haiti. That wasn't too hard. 1995-96, we're in Bosnia-Herzegovina. They got a civil war going on over there. That didn't work out well for anybody on the planet. A couple of famous movies were made about that one. 2001, the invasion of Afghanistan. 2003 to 2011, invasion of Iraq, going after those weapons of mass destruction. 2004 to present, war in North Pakistan. This is rarely heard of. You only hear about it when we drop drones on a wedding party instead of a military base, or land a helicopter in Osama bin Laden's courtyard. Right. 2007 to present, fighting that weird named terrorist group, like Bobo Hukum or something like that, in Somalia and northern Kenya. Right. 2009 to 2016, International Brigade against Somali pirates. Look at me, I'm the captain now. Ringing a bell. 2011, 2017, we invade Uganda. 2014, 2017, we return to Iraq again. 2014 to present, we intervene in the Syrian civil war. 2015 to present, Yemen is in a civil war. Few people know about it. We like to donate to that effort. We like to donate missiles using drones, but we like to keep our soldiers out, except for a couple of special forces attacks there. 2015 to present, intervention in Libya, chasing ISIS all over the place and all that good stuff. Some major events, some fiasco, all over the news kind of events that happens in these things. 1980, failed rescue of hostages in Iran, where the helicopters crash in the desert because the dust is in the rotors, or I think that's what made them fail, low visibility or something. 1986, the bombing of Tripoli. If you remember correctly, we had a nightclub in Berlin with a bunch of U.S. soldiers in it. A bomb goes off, kills a bunch of them. Ronald Reagan will bomb Muammar Gaddafi's house and kill a couple of his wives in revenge there. 1993, the invasion of Mogadishu. The UN is supposed to be leading this, and we get a couple of people pinned in downtown. A helicopter goes down. We're going for a rescue. I believe it's the Polish army is supposed to come help us out. The UN was in charge of it. We ended up having to get 99 special forces to walk on foot a mile to safety in a stadium with 10,000 Somalis shooting at them. Great movie on that one, Black Hawk Down. 1998 to 1999, it's a combination of bombing Iraq, Serbia, Yugoslavia, all of that stuff. Most of the world calls it Monica's War. Bill Clinton is getting impeached. That one involved the Senate. And he's trying to stop it by getting the people to rally around him under wartime. And Congress refused to replenish the weapons he was sending. The whole world begged and pleaded for him to stop because he was setting all these refugees in motion, and we had no contingency plan on what to do with all of those refugees as the governments collapsed. So he's seen this before. He's got experience dealing with it. All right, so in the speech, he says, the buck stops here, I'll take the blame, and then immediately blames several other people. So should we have gotten out the way we got out when we did? Let's look at a history of withdrawal from Afghanistan. All right, we went in with the stated objective of we are after al-Qaeda and all the sort of generals, and especially Osama bin Laden. And Osama bin Laden was hard to get to because he was trained by our CIA back when the Soviets were in Afghanistan. All those tunnels and stuff we built, right? So add that into your argument, whatever you want to do with it. In 2014, he's dead. Al-Qaeda's gone. We've done our stated objective, and Obama says he wants to withdraw troops from Afghanistan. Huge backlash. You can't do that. You can't do that. The people didn't want to do it, or at least that's what they said on TV. The military-industrial complex had too much money involved in it. So Obama's going to put off that withdrawal, right? Pass it on down the line to Trump. Trump comes in. He hates this thing to begin with. He's constantly whittling down the troops, and he says, I want them all out by May 2021. Comes up with a deal with Taliban generals and Taliban representatives that they're going to leave us alone while we evacuate, and then the country's all theirs, right? Now, that's scandalous. Add this into your argument. Can we trust the Taliban to uphold their agreement? The guys that Trump was negotiating with, we used to have in Guantanamo Bay. There were 5 high-ranking Taliban officials and government officials, and we set all of them, the Gitmo 5, and we set them free in exchange for Bo Bergdahl. Remember that? So those guys go back. They're part of the current takeover in Afghanistan. We were negotiating with them. We'd met. We knew each other by name, right? Okay. So when Trump did not get re-election, he said, we're going to be out by Christmas 2020 so that it would happen on his watch and go down with his legacy. But everything he tried to do was blocked after that, and he didn't get it done. Joe Biden comes into office, cancels everything that Trump has, because that's what Trump did to Obama, and tit for tat, fair is fair, right? Have your own opinion about all that stuff. He will increase the number of troops to 4,000, right? He's going to bring in more, he's going to escalate, and then he's going to set September 11th for the withdrawal date instead of the original May goals. Because now we just brought in a whole lot more people and a whole lot more equipment. And, okay, yeah, whatever. Under pressure politically to not make September 11th about leaving Afghanistan and ruining the legacy of that date, in July, he makes a decision, you know what, we're going to get out in August. So they move all the plans, they shrink it all up by a month. There you go. Whose fault is it? I don't know. But he's not the first one to try it. Ironically, I will throw this in just for fun. Had everybody let Trump evacuate, all this garbage would have been on his legacy, and the people who hated Trump would be giddy with joy that he took it all. It's just something to toss around, something to chew on. All right, so one of the blames was placed on the Afghan people. The Afghan people did not step up. If they want to fight for their own country, I'm not going to ask any Americans to die for them. Okay, so right before, within hours of before saying that, he increased the troop number in Afghanistan by another 1,000. Form your own opinion, but let's look at the numbers. All right, let's look at the numbers. so that you can have an intelligent debate. The U.S. lost about 2,400 service personnel. There are a lot more wounded. We had about 2,400 deaths over the last 20 years in Afghanistan. All right, we lost almost 4,000 contractors. Contractor is the friendly name for mercenaries who work for us, people that we paid to go in and do the work for us. The Afghan army lost 66,000 personnel. 66,000. When you look at them, you find out that a lot of them didn't get paid for 2 or 3 months at a time. You find out that a lot of times they were sent to combat and they didn't have bullets in their guns. Their stuff didn't work. Their salaries weren't paid. They would go without food. They'd go without gas. They would go in completely unsupplied sometimes. But 66,000 of them stepped up and died for their nation. 47,000 civilians died supporting the invasion or accidentally from friendly fire or whatever. So they've got over 100,000 dead. The Taliban lost 57,000. So there you go. There's your numbers. Did the Afghans step up and do their job? Well, they lost 100,000 people compared to our 2,400. But I totally get it. You form your own opinion. Just want to throw some facts out there for you guys to chew on. Be nice to each other. We're all still on the same team. I'll catch you later.